Into it as well. Faze in the last few months have been 2 wins and 3 losses. Damwon Kia 5 wins, 3 losses. So they've had more success here. Both teams a pretty poor and abysmal attacking record on this map, but defensively both very strong. Damwon Kia starting out, our operator bans the Capitale once again going to come through, so being targeted against Faze Clan at this point, but also opens up other options. It's almost like we're back on bank again, Ace, because the Hibana has come through for a second map in a row.
It's looking very similar, as you say. Hibana there taken off. It's, again, nod towards a hatch game there. Couple of important hatches for those basement defences, of course, inside a meeting and inside a main lobby. They will remain at least a little bit safer or draw the Maverick pick instead. But it's going to be Valkyrie as the first defensive ban. No major surprises. We've seen a lot of Valkyrie bans. We've also seen a lot of damage done when Valkyrie's been left in.
Oh,
so
yes.
Faze, yep, getting rid of the Queen of Intel.
Absolutely. Queen of Hatches, Queen of Intel. Nice pairing stacked up there in the middle of your screen. Mira expected probably to be the last one, but Damwon Kia have taken their time with this one. It's going to instead be the Echo taken away. I remember back in the day when we had the kind of trifecta of bans, Mira, Maestro or Echo. Feels like such a long time ago, and Valkyrie very quickly rising up the ban ranks.
It does. I mean, there's always an argument for an Echo ban. You know, that much is for sure. Damwon Kia just wanting to take a little bit more intel off the cards. I can't say that we see too many Yokai drone denials on plants here
these
on
days
Oregon.
It's played very differently.
It's very, very differently, particularly here on Oregon. Used more as sort of an aggressive droner to get out ahead of the roamers. Imagine what you would do with an attacking drone.
Yeah, that's it.
Do basically very much the same with the Yokai drone. Get it at the feet of your roamers and feed them information.
Not before Robot Wars takes place, of course. Yokai smashing into conventional drones. I've not really seen anyone whip out like an axe or a flipper like this was Robot Wars or something yet.
Some flames coming out of one.
Oh, imagine. Or a big spinning disc. Hypno disc back in the day. Good old favourite. Let's see how round number 1 plays out, because Faze have brought along the Bunker Buster herself, as I always used to call her, the Ying being brought in by Astro. This just screams to you that a team is very, very keen to get a full-on execute down. So likelihood Faze's game plan in this round is going to be making use of that Flores to remove Banshees, remove shields, remove things that will impede the side of Faze once they come into an execute, and then they'll throw in everything behind Astro himself. Imagine you might have some smokes coming in on the back of Cyber, for example. As you can see, for the Astro at the very least has brought along the hard breach gadget rather than the smokes that the Ying is normally associated with.
We've got Damwon Kia really setting up to hold on to double window here. There's no major surprises. We've seen more attention paid to it from attackers of late. It's been a little bit of a sort of popular rotation to head to. They've got the laser gate on there. They've got the ADSs there. They're trying to hold down that area, maybe reading in to that Ying pick a little bit, just trying to prevent them from being able to just get in there, flash out that whole area and look to move in now. The Twitch drone goes in. Going to be taken out straight away by Rin on the Jaeger at the bottom of the main stairs. He's going to dip himself back up to Trophy, just there to try and pressure Master Door should an immediate push come in through there.
Depends where they want to pull off this execute. Commonly you see the Ying and you assume it's going to be either a big window take or you're going to try and push your way in through the Trophy door. Often we've seen teams, I think it was Team Secret back over in EUL, would basically bust their way in through Trophy door, chuck smokes everywhere, Candelas come out, plant goes down on concrete, and out you go. That also denies C4 play from below, which is what Katsang could be looking for, given he is currently sat playing on the downstairs. Has the impacts rather than a C4 in hand. Only one of those on side, and that's well and truly packed in the back pocket of Woogieman. Doesn't mean that Katsang can't do some damage if you're trying to plant on soft flooring.
Katsang and Yas are the roaming duo here for Damwon Kia. Yas disappears off into the basement. Katsang just looking to keep contesting kitchen. Yas pops up at the other end of the map, this time through rear stage, and is again just looking to support Katsang a little bit and just to try and keep pressure off him. But at the minute, they're not going to find anybody from Faze pushing into them just yet. Cameraman is pushing in from towards that small tower side. So there could be challenges onto Katsang inside a kitchen soon, but really I think all they want him to do is just try and avoid the vertical pressure. That is exactly what Katsang's doing right now. So Faze, you got to get in there and get him moving.
Yeah, I mean 2 minutes in, you're still droning shower corridor? That's like
it's
dangerously slow. Bullet is slowly moving his way up, but of course the Banshee will give away his position. Like a terrible game of hide and seek, his position is revealed, and Woogie finding the opening kill onto Bullet. Nice and comfortable as Damwon Kia find the opening kill on Oregon.
Just felt a little bit like that was a push without teeth from Bullet there. He just didn't seem ready to really make the challenge. In comes a nice nade from Cameraman, pushing in behind that Yin Candela. It's an absolute freebie for Cyber. Faze have got themselves inside a sight here, Des, and they might just be able to make a nuisance. Cameraman onto Katsang, 3 versus 2. Need to think about the defuse going down. Yas with a big challenge onto White, and a kill from Woogieman is going to turn things around. Yas with his second from the White Stairs flank, and Faze once again just being caught foul of not pinning down and dealing with Yas.
The thing is, Katsang kind of took the place of Yas there, where he was the primary flanker, right? He was the one who came from below, came swinging up and tried to make an impact. And I don't know if FaZe kind of wrote that off as, okay, we've dealt with the flank. The problem is there are 2 flankers. You forget about Yas and what he can do. And as you rightly called out, AC was ignored once again. No flank drone sat in shower corridor, nothing on Zulu, watching him push his way up. And he plays spoiler to the end of the FaZe party, because outside of that, things didn't look too bad for FaZe. They were on course to get something good going in that round. Katsang on the downstairs, you see there getting the kill onto the diffuser carrier, jumping in the window. Just small steps being missed by FaZe, and I'm reminded very deeply of the game between Rogue and Team 1 yesterday on this map. The big criticism that I levied against Team 1 was the lack of drones, or very, very slow drones, whereas you look at Rogue, they always had 2 drones at the feet of Aces and Leon, and they took massive patches of the map incredibly quickly. Yet here, FaZe took 2 minutes to even get control of shower corridor. This is just so different to what we've seen from them on Bank, for example. I think for both teams, you will see the cracks start to show when they're not super confident on a map. But this is, again, looking very worrisome to what we saw on Chalet, and I'm nervous in that instance for FaZe.
I would agree with you. Like you say, it's just that lack of intel, that lack of information, not making sure that you've got everybody accounted for before you try to push and move on to that next stage of your attack. And FaZe really could have had that nailed down. They were 3 versus 3. They had a presence inside a site, but they were just completely caught out. And the question is, Des, how many times are they going to allow Yas to slip through the net? How many times is he going to be able to hurt them in that way? Now then, heading into round 2, Damwon Kia, they're going to take the defense down to the bottom floor this time around. It's going to be laundry and supply, where they try to lock it out. FaZe, for the time being, pressuring towards rear stage, where they will find some resistance from Rin. Might well dip himself back down the stairs. He's not going to push this too hard, I don't think. There he goes. No. Looking to play down at pillar. Just a bit of a token presence, so they can't rush it.
That is like the most go-to standard example of why you don't just sit on site and sit down and plod there for 3 minutes straight. Is, you know, you want to be getting out there and challenging drones at the very least, and very commonly you'll see normally a Jaeger. Think back to, for example, when Shaiko or Rafal play on this map for BDS, they'll have someone playing initially at the top side of those stairs, kill a drone, fall back down and hold pillar and Shaiko position. It's just the go-to thing to do, because you're getting essentially free information, because they'll have to re-drone it before trying to step in and swing to make sure you definitely aren't there. So good initial play. FaZe, again, slowly seeing that drone count tickle down as well to about 5 on the field at this point. And Yas still unanswered to, I want to say. He was earlier at least hanging on inside a freezer. Now he's finding himself around pillar, so he is back on site actually. So at least on the side of FaZe, they have got all 5 members back on site, and that makes Damwon Kia a lot more controllable.
Yeah, they've done that quite quickly as well. Halfway into the round, FaZe have basically got about 80% control of the map now, other than directly on that bottom floor on the 2 sites. So Cameraman can get working on electrical hatch. That's going to allow them then to try and bully pillars, and it's all a bit of a jigsaw, Des. One thing has to be done before the next. It's that checklist. They have to get the hatch.
Out of gas?
That's going to allow them to pressure onto pillars, potentially. They still need to be able to get a nade through there, which they might be able to find the angle. They need that to push pillars out, to move Shaiko, to be Shaiko spot, to be able to move down rear stage stairs.
I cannot stress how important it is they got E-Box open, because that is the drop that you bring the Ying for. That gets opened up, you yeet one down into pillars, some down on site. They can't do that unless it gets opened up. They have finally got it because they know how important it is, but I was terrified for a second that that might stay closed and this whole attack falls apart from there.
As you can see now, Damwon Kia just having to dip back because electrical hatch is open. Yas is now their most advanced player in terms of positioning, trying to stick around up at pillars, but he's not going to be able to as the Rotero drones come in and force him back. Woogieman's taking a lot of damage. Out goes a Nitro though, and we see Cameraman dropped in the action there. 1 kill in either direction, and this is going to turn into a bloodbath. Yas has been put down. Diffuser picked up, but only 10 seconds left to go here for FaZe. 2 versus 2. 2, Des. This is absolutely anybody's. Astro heads up play, gets the Candela out to protect himself as the diffuser goes down. Cyber wins a big one, but they can't do it as the final kill comes in. Onto Astro to deny the plant, and it's going to be another Damwon Kia round in the nick of time.
Coated just stepping out from Cobby there as well. Didn't even have to win the 1 versus 1 against Cyber. Just go for the man putting the plant down in the corner. Being whittled down on time once again. And it wasn't like there was some elaborate roam game coming out from Damwon Kia. They were just teasing them at the top of Big Tower Stairs, for example. They were sat poking around at the top of Freezer, and then eventually all 5 were back on site with 90 seconds still to play. And Faze just take a bit too much time. They mess up, for example, the Maverick getting the hatch open. That burns them through another 20 seconds or so, meaning Ying has to step across and get that hatch opened up. Then commits to pushing down through Big Tower Stairs, and it looks like things are going well until Rin nets a big 2K from inside of Freezer, and the round just collapses from there. A single-angled attack, and it all comes down to a little bit of patience being shown by the last 2 members for Damwon Kia.
Cyber's on the cover there. He's supposed to be covering that angle. He was low health. I'll give him...
It's so hard, right? Because you've got to cover highway,
He was
Freezer.
very low health, and he's aware of Freezer door, so he can't expose himself too much. But the reason that I bring that up is because it's smart play from Damwon Kia. Because if you notice what happened there, the player just moved further away from the angle, so they didn't have to expose themselves. It's all about perspective. It's all about how close you are to that wall. And he's able to get the angle onto the man without actually directly exposing himself, moving past that wall. So Cyber has no opportunity to close him down. It was just really smart from Damwon Kia. It's one of those things that, you know, these players at this level do automatically. It's without thought, but it was just a really great way of getting onto the angle he needed without exposing himself. Because if Cyber gets that kill, it's 2v1, diffuser's down, and all of a sudden you've got to push from Freezer. It's going to be very, very difficult.
You look to the information game as well. The last known location of a Damwon Kia player was Rin inside of Freezer with the 2 kills coming in. Coated was basically unchecked, and Cyber still turned the right way, just not quite in the nick of time. 2 rounds go their way. I believe we have resolved our issue. It's Cameraman who had a PC issue, but now the game can get back underway. And Astro switching over to playing on that Monty. This, to me, just screams a team that knows they don't have control of rounds and wants something to give them a big, solid front line that they can play behind. My biggest concern is I don't know if this is going to fix the issue for them, to be honest with you, Tim. Their issue hasn't really been so much the site itself. It's been about their pace on the approach to site itself and how long it has taken them to get set up. I hope this improves that attack pause, or tech pause, sorry. May just be a bit of a saving grace for Faze.
Yep, I would agree with you. I think they have to change something up here, Des, because the problem is they're sort of getting close, but Damwon Kia are able to find a way every single time. And they're 2 rounds in now, and yeah, you look at that and you think it's just 2 defensive rounds on Oregon. But before you know it, that's going to be 3. It's going to be 4, going to be 5 for Damwon Kia if this continues. And Faze are well aware of that. They've got to do something to put the brakes on, and, well, what a better set of brakes than Montagna.
Attackers are heading out to defuse.
That's one way of looking at it. Again, we'll see how the pace plays out for them. I also like how, at least there is some acknowledgement from Faze that they've had a problem dealing with would-be flankers and bringing along the Nomad. Helping them to lock down crucial areas of clear ground. Hopefully a couple of flank drones also set up throughout the round, just to help them retain more control over Rin, over Yas, even over Woogie in a couple of instances. He's the one now stepping onto them loosely, while it's Katsang going a little more defensive on site and playing on the smoke. It is indeed this meeting set up, and Yas wants to contest nice and early inside of green here, just to again look at slowing down Faze.
Bullet aware that somebody's going to be playing in amongst that meeting door, maybe trying to get aggressive up onto it, so just going to hold the angle for the time being. It's not a site that we see too often, isn't meeting. There's generally sort of 2 lines of attack that you will get. There's either the vertical control and push through small office, or alternatively try and get yourself in through rear stage and just brute force into that stage area. But Rin, he's going to brute force right through Cyber as he gets himself an opening kill there, Des. Takes the Nomad down, and Faze better be hoping that those air jabs have been deployed.
I hate to say it, but it's a little bit lazy as well in the sense. They've spent 60 seconds droning out green, making sure tower's clear, and then get hit from the south side instead. It's unfortunate, but arguably why is Cyber in that location looking to expose himself to a window when the rest of the team is on drones, making sure they've got a good setup for control to then look at their push in. It is a full big tower push from the side of Faze, and Damwon Kia should start becoming aware of this very, very soon. Drones are everywhere for the side of Faze, but keep an eye on how many remain once they start looking for the execute.
Katsang just trying to hold the angle from Kitchen over towards that rear stage. Utility's going to be taken down by a bullet while he looks to hold the angle. Cameraman finds Woogie Man. That's a good start. He's actually down underneath. He's going to
he was on the roam, yeah.
Head-to-head with Quartered here, but Cameraman's well aware, Des. He's already got the angle. As soon as he tries to push this freezer door, Cameraman's likely to absolutely remove his head for him. We've got a bit of tension here as both players find themselves in a standoff, but it's Cameraman, ultimately, who is the one left standing as Quartered is cut down in the basement. 4 versus 3 now for Faze Des. 45 seconds left to go. They've got the access. They've got a couple of kills. They now need to think about getting a plant down.
Split is their pillbox here. There's 2 players playing out of it. Reinforced walls either side, barricaded off behind them. They do not want to leave, but Astro, he's going to walk right up to the front door and say, hey, how's it going? We know you're inside there and we know that you can't stop us. It's a 2 versus 4. Astro, shield down, looking to try and win a fight against Yas here. Stepping forward, going hyper aggressive, finally shut out, but the damage has been done. Yas was forced away from the rest of his team, and now it's on the side of Faze. Can they get this plant down? They should be able to. A 1 versus 2. Bullet steps into green. Yas inside a kitchen has got a lot of work to do. Stepping his way across the souls, hanging up on the stage, going to find the kill. An easy pop-up after getting the plant down, and Faze find themselves around.
Much better from Faze there, using that Montagne well, but let's not forget they were on a tertiary site. They need to translate that now over to the primary choices of Damwon Kia, which is going to be back up to dorms, and if they win that, likely back down to laundry. And Faze didn't really have the solutions last time around that they needed to get these sites done. So for me, going to be questions for Faze over the next couple of rounds. It's where they're really going to have to show their character. And once again, Yas did manage to slip away a little bit there. Got himself a freebie onto Cameraman coming up through the freezer stairs. As you see here, absolutely no idea. But it's reasonable that the presumption would be he'd be looking to challenge on site. But
what I will give a lot of credit to Cameraman in that round. He
was a big play.
To my mind, he would it for them. They had 2 players looking to play on their own. Damwon Kia, this is, up through basement. Cameraman was down there. He went and met one in a very aggressive early fight, and the second one, Coated, he just sat and waited for Coated to swing. 2 big kills, no C4 denials possible, for example, no flanks to hit them on the backside, and they knew that with the Monty, they had the remaining 2 members choked inside a split. So a good round from Faze, and that is the kind of control that I've expected to see throughout the entire series, to be honest, and why I thought this game might go to a 2-0. I don't think 1 round is really enough to suggest that they've yet got a full understanding of Damwon Kia and how to counter these flanks coming in, but at least it looked better than it did before.
Exactly that. Faze need to just write off the first couple of rounds. They're coming back into the same site. They need to learn the mistakes, come back in. I think be a little bit more aggressive in that roam clearance. They need to learn the lesson from round 3. We've gone in there, got rid of 2 of them, and it's made the rest of the round a lot more straightforward. I love the play from the Monty last time around. It was absolutely perfectly worked from Astro as he just completely bullied them down in the back of site, took all the attention, and that's one of the things that Monty does so well as an operator, is just draw that focus and that attention.
And here he will be doing just that once again. Astro sticking on what many would consider a crutch for some teams. When they can't quite make it work without the shield, you bring the shield as a fallback because it's very easy to sit behind a Monty and let him be the determinant of where the front line sits in a round. Working his way here inside a trophy, he's got Cyber sat in just behind him. A couple of players from Faze looking out towards Big Tower, and Yas, I think, is currently the one lurking out there, as you can see, up in Tier 3. I don't know if Faze are fully aware that he's here right now either.
I think with Cameraman being up on the roof there, he's considering getting on the rappel, and my guess is that he probably does know that Yas is there. So we'll see whether he manages to make a challenge onto him or not. We can see Cameraman is still up in that location now. Out comes the nades. It's going to burn up one of those magnets. It's not going to have the impact that they wanted, which was clearing out some utility. The second one should do. I think they were just looking to potentially pressure a player who was in there, but has actually dipped away for the time being.
I don't think they know that Yas is in split.
Please tell me that they know, Des.
They should know. They should have heard him moving around. He's dropped out of Big Tower, for God's sake. And here we go. Now he sees the drone and is now forced to dip away. C4 comes out. Will he find his man for free? Yes, he will. How does he still get away with it? Gets the Monty. That's the crucial operator to remove the spear tip of this attack from Faze. A great start for Damwon Kia.
They know that there's a man underneath Des, but there's nobody playing into main lobby or getting an angle onto Classroom to prevent that vertical challenge. They've got to be a little bit sharper on how and when they deal with these roamers, because as we've seen time after time, it is hurting them. They're getting punished. Now then, Faze Clan, time to start rethinking think in this one. You're going to have to try and shift some things around. You've got the Maverick as a potential hard breach, but that is all. With the Monty goes the hard breach as well, Des. He had the utility that they wanted to use to open that game's wall up. He's got it done, but it's going to be a difficult push in.
All right, the 4 versus 4. They found something back, and it's the Wamai taken out. A final magnet that comes at the 30-second mark, no longer going to be available. Not that I think it matters at this point, as much of the utility has already been expended. They've got to step their way forward to start looking for their way in. Bullet being flashed out by a friendly Yas. Again, how is he back out? How has he found 2 from Big Tower? They knew he was there. They knew he left. He's returned and got another 3 kills that should not have been found. Rin finds another, and this should be a shutout. Nose one's towards White Stairs, but the clock waits for no one. Souls has got to get this plant down somewhere. He's going to try and stick it, but from down below, surely they can work their way up. He might get this one off. Can he get guns up in time to be able to contest this one? Yes, he can. Oh, sees one. Kenta goes down. Souls with a massive clutch of 4K. He plants, he frags, he wins.
I said it in the group stage, Des. Souls is an absolute clutch demon, and he shows exactly why they're planting straight off, straight into action, ready to make the challenge, and that could be a turnaround round for FaZe. They needed somebody, Des. They needed something, but let's just focus back on Yas again for a second. I think elusive is the word to use for him here on Oregon. FaZe have got to put a leash on him. They've got to get a handle on him.
They're boxing with shadows, Tim. It's the pain again where they like Cameraman droned out Big Tower. I don't think they knew Yas was up there, but he dipped away anyway when he suspected that he'd been seen. He goes unseen in Classroom, finds the Monty, somehow rotates all the way back through meeting, up through green, up Big Tower without being seen by a single drone, and gets kills again and again. They saw him on a drone in Classroom as well, and he still gets away with it.
And they only have 4 men at that point.
Again,
so they've got somebody sat on drones and cams.
Game sense. Just Yas's game sense is unreal, but Souls, the hero of this round. 4K, a plant, does it all, even in a 1 versus 2. This is turning into a third match that we all want, or a third map that we all wanted it to be. And at this point, I still think it's so hard to call which way it goes because it's coming down to a hell of a lot of clutch.
It's anybody's. It's absolutely anybody's. And this is why we were desperate. You and I coming into it, we said we really want to see, when we saw the map line up, right, we want to go to Oregon here because we knew how spicy this one was going to be. And it's absolutely not failing to deliver at this point in time. Damwon Kia and FaZe just giving us absolutely everything they've got at the minute. So we're going to head into round 5. Damwon Kia on the defense of basement, and immediately my eye is drawn to where is Yas, and that should be the question in Faze Clan's head right now, Des. It should be the question in their head for every second that man is alive in the map.
Forget where's Wally, we've got a new game to be playing, and FaZe aren't playing it very well at the minute. He's just consistently out on the roam. We keep on talking about him, and I've said it a couple of times this series. I feel like a broken record with some of these points, but they just keep on remaining true, and the teams aren't necessarily adapting. They've dropped away from the Monty now on the side of FaZe at least, and we're going to see that Ying stepping back onto the field once more. A key difference in this round is there is no smokes. They were previously in place on the Twitch, which Cyber was playing on before. He's now stepped back onto being on the Nomad. So they know that the flank's a problem enough so that it's now starting to impact what their executes can look like because they can't control those roamers.
Ring could be an issue here. Got himself into Big Tower. He's actually going to be shut down beautifully there by Cyber. So as I say it, FaZe, they recognise that the danger is there. They get in, they shut him down, and they close him out of the round. That's going to be advantage for Faze Clan. They're getting the meeting hatch open easier and quicker than they did last time around, as there's going to be a much longer amount of time now for Damwon Kia to try and hold on to this bottom 4. They're not going to have the hassle from Freezer. Bullet, he's setting it up. He's ready to be able to go in there and challenge. Yas, however, getting aggressive onto the bottom of those stairs.
Trying to be a little bit predictable here as the hatch off to his left is being opened up. Probably needs to back himself away. Did have a drone sat at his feet for a couple of seconds as well. And they've got plenty of drone play still left on side here if so required. It's not like they're playing in blind. They can afford to take their time. There's 60 seconds on the clock. They found the entry. There is still so much to play with.
Damwon Kia just being forced back and back and back. The layers of that onion-like defense just being peeled away, and they find themselves nowadays back at the core, limited down to only 2 or 3 rooms. Faze Clan have got them surrounded. They've got a presence in Laundry. They've got control over Freezer. They're moving in through bunkers. They are slowly starting to surround them, and the pressure is going to mount. The question is, can Damwon Kia find the kills that they're going to need to? Yes, he is going to be flashed out, but there's no immediate push onto him, Des. The Faze Clan, they allow the effects of that flash to wear off, and Yas can find a kill, but here comes Bullet from that Freezer flank, finds himself one onto Yas, 2 versus 2, and there come the final kills. Damwon Kia had men down but not out. Faze able to get it, but they were a little bit lucky there, Des.
I mean, all of that goes on Bullet. He just walked in from Freezer straight into the center of supply and finds 3 kills to ensure Faze get the round. But Yas, again, goes unchecked. The worst thing is, I think it was Cameraman, it could have been Cyber. They had a drone that had just come in through Freezer, peeked its hole out through the drone hole. It looked south, but didn't look up. So they didn't see Yas sat on pillar. He tucks himself in the corner. Astro comes down big stairs, or big tower stairs, and dies for free. It's the small details. Again, is the drone work being done correctly? Is it seeing the right things? It's biting them big time. I've got to give it to Coated as well. Perfectly timed C4 as the drop came through. Otherwise, Yas was likely already going to be dead inside a pillar. And this is that push I was talking about. Marches his way forward. Yas's freebie coming out that I was very confused as to how on earth he wasn't seen. But it's one of those you look at and say, God bless for Bullet, because he's kept Faze in with another attacking round. They're at 3-2 on the attack team. I would be delighted if I was Faze. Maybe not in the manner by which they've been won, but you'll be happy that you're up 3-2, given the poor attacking record of both teams on this map.
Earlier in this game, I said as a championship's winning side, it's very important that what I call you can win ugly days, you can win the difficult games, you can win the ones.
You know exactly what I call that.
You can win the ones where you can't just go in with surgical precision and take people. You know, you've got to be able to scrap, you've got to be able to fight dirty. And right now, Faze, they're finding a way. Getting themselves a 4-2 advantage, as you say, would be big. Damwon Kia, they're going to go back down to the basement once again for their final defense here. And this is just an absolute brawl right now. We've got 2 teams that are playing on such a level playing field, Des. The skill levels are just so evenly matched. This is one of the best games I've seen this year at this point.
I can't believe how almost for the 3rd map in a row, it is the 3rd map in a row, we're going to be saying to, look, Yas is like 13-3, 12-4, as he has been on the last couple. We keep on stressing in APAC North about just how consistent he is. Bar 1 or 2 games in the last like 6 months, maybe he's had an off day. It's a 3rd map in a row where he's playing absolutely lights out. But sadly, being shut down by the other side. Massive clutch out of Souls. A great ending round for Bullet as well. 2 rounds that you look at on the board and say were probably closer than they should have been for Faze. But ultimately, all history will remember is the score. 3-2 it currently stands. Damwon Kia once again, all back on site.
That's it within the first minute. Faze have got them all forced back. Pressure being put once again. Can Yas be aggressive enough? Not. This time he continues going. He's looking for him. Desi makes the challenge, but rarely missing shots there. Out comes the impact nade. Still not going to get the job done, but Bullet takes an absolute ton of damage, and Yas, he's going to scurry back to site, but his job there is done.
There's so much confidence there as well to push that hyper-aggressive.
Kept going.
I'll give it again, though. You know, Cyber had a camera inside of Freezer that would have seen him chasing Bullet back upstairs, but no one was watching the camera. It comes down to basics, Tim, and it's the small things that are being forgotten. Fortunately, it doesn't bite Faze in the backside this time round, but it very well could do in future.
In goes the utility to burn away those magnets, to burn away the ADSs. The big bunker push is coming here. Sorry, Monty just looking to cover off Shaiko's spot, and there we go. The cover coming in from Cyber, finding Rin, and this begins once again for Faze. Damwon Kia under serious pressure there, but Astro exposes himself, and Yas manages to find the kill. 4 versus 4.
This time round, Souls wins that fight onto Yas. He's taken out a highway, and the control surely is with Faze. Cyber's in sight. Camera coming down elbow at the same time. The kills start raining through. The Maverick still opening up the wall behind. Woogie finds one. Should surely have gone down to the Maverick, but stays standing. It's a 2 versus 2. Diffuser is down, at least for now. And there's 30 seconds to play with. It doesn't sound like a lot, Tim, but that is a ton of time.
There's an opportunity here for them to think about getting the diffuser down, but they need to bait the Nitro out of Woogie Man here. That's what he's looking for. sure that's going to be the play. Bullet, can he stick this? He's just
he shot
it, but no, he gets shut down. Katsang on the flank, Des. He's managed to get himself into corridor. Woogie Man with the final kill. Damwon Kia level us up 3-3, and we go into the second of half. Even nothing to separate these teams.
Fantastic 3v3 being played out by Damwon Kia. Faze on the initial drop ball, give it to Souls. They take out Yas, and that removes a massive thorn in their side because Yas loves playing in that northeast corner of Highway and swinging around once the call comes in that the push is happening. They just can't make the 3 versus 2 work because of some flawless last-second clutch play coming out of Damwon Kia. It does balance us at 3-3. If you are Faze, you are ecstatic. You've taken 3 attacking rounds. Again, forgetting the means by which they're won, you have still got 3 rounds on the board. Damwon Kia need to pull off some magic attacks here because with how the stats lean, what the paper suggests based on history is Faze win this half.
It was just an absolute kill fest was that last round. It was just one for one, and then Katsang just had the bravery, just had the know-how to push himself up at the right time through Highway and find that kill onto Bullet.
Think about what you're panicking about as the attackers there. You've heard a rip of a C4, you hear the beep as it comes flying through the air. Where are you going to look? Are you going to look at Highway or are you going to look at a C4? You are going to look at that C4 every time. Both Faze eyes drawn towards it as it sticks on the wall, and Katsang with a perfectly timed swing. It's again the small things in games like these, the drone work, the trade play that you go for. In that case, it was the timing. As the C4 sticks to the wall, that's when Katsang appears, and you've got to choose one. And Faze, unfortunately, had no way out. They would either die by explosion or die to Katsang on the swing, and it was the latter.
There was a beautiful bit in that push, and it's almost unrelated to the game, but it just caught my eye at the time and made me chuckle internally. And that was Souls pushed into pillar and got a kill.
And yes,
he was playing on the Flores. And I just thought how stylish he looked while doing it. Flores is like, just his skin, his coat, he just went in there just looking absolutely phenomenal. Just cool as a cucumber, gets his kill. I'm just there for it, just caught my eye. I thought, you look great doing that. Flores, a man I'm happy to model myself on. He's a serious style icon inside the scene.
It's a style rush coming in as well. Damwon Kia in through blue. Cyberwood's ready at the very least. 4 versus 4. We can barely finish talking before this round gets underway. Yes, stepping his way through. There's a magnet behind him. Tries to swing onto Souls. They're bowed down to about the same amount of HP, but neither one falling by the wayside just yet. Damwon Kia, the rush is in. They've got control of blue, and that was the objective. They've gone 1 for 1. They've taken a C4 off the board, and now they're back on drones.
Absolutely flying into
So about Flores, by the way.
Really sending a message to Faze Clan. Astro's going to take a little bit of damage there, but they seem to have got themselves set now. Damwon Kia just having to take their foot off the gas a little bit after that rush, sort of faltered on the first kill. So 4 versus 4, Faze able to just start digging in a little bit. All 4 of them have just been pushed back behind that B-bomb. There's 2 playing back in Laundry, and they're just trying to hold on to the long angles for the time being. Cameraman challenging from elbow with that shotgun, trying to do everything he can, but it's not a fight he's likely to win against Katsang Des. Astro, however, finds Rin. That forces Damwon Kia to rotate. We see it on our screen beautifully there. They have to move to replace the man that's been lost. 3 versus 4 now. Faze just trying to hold on.
They can't get control of elbow, I don't think, at this point. That piece of ground is well and truly lost because Cameraman's holding it. Souls has a crossfire. They've got to put the focus on the north. Grenade coming in. Astro's down to a slither of HP. If there was another grenade left, maybe they could finish him off. It's not to be the case. He swings, finds one onto Yas. It's a 2 versus 4 for Damwon Kia. Faze in a controlling position and should be able to close this one out. Woogie up on pillar and Katsang currently sat on Shaiko. They've got about 50 seconds to play with, Tim. It's tons of time. Woogie finds one through a slither in the wall there. Can they win a 2 versus 3?
Only needs a sniff of a pixel, Des, to get onto that kill. Exactly what he does. 3 versus 2 now. Faze, again, just knowing when to aggress, when to sit back. They're now going to let the clock do the job for them. They're going to try and just let it burn away. Souls, he finds Katsang as Woogie Man now in a 1 versus 3. Faze just waiting for Damwon Kia to expose themselves because they know that they're going to have to. Woogie Man just getting aggressive. He knows there's one behind that bomb chassis, but there's nothing he can do to make the challenge because of freezer door, which is where he ultimately gets taken down from by Bullet. Damwon Kia, hats off to them. They tried something, Des. They tried to get in there to site quickly, but they're doing it against the kings of a site rush. We don't see it from Faze too often anymore, but I'll look back to the end of last year, the end of 2020, Des, when this roster was still MIBR. Cameraman had just joined from Faze. And that was their game. Was rushing into sight, was getting kills, particularly here on Oregon. Straight down the laundry stairs, straight in through bunker, and they just start decimating people. It wasn't until cameraman had been there a little bit longer, and then the roster got taken over by Faze later, that we started to see this strategy creeping alongside that aggression. But the roots of this roster know what it's all about, and you're unlikely to catch them out like that.
I saw a thing, a bit of technical issue on the go there at the very end of that round. So once that's resolved, we will get back into things. I love how Faze played at the end of that round. We spoke a lot about what Damwon Kia are doing right. I do want to really put some praise on Faze for this one. They were in a position at the very end there in a 3 versus 2. Both of the fights they took on the last members of Damwon Kia were both 2v1s. Yep. Swinging from different angles at the same time, unless there was some miraculous spray transfer coming out of the remaining members of Damwon Kia, they were not going to walk away the winner. One coming in from Laundry, one from Freezer for the first fight. The second one again from Freezer, but also at the same time coming in from Elbow with Souls holding down on South. So a good round close. Damwon Kia know that this game is not so much running away from them, but it's starting to slip very quickly. This next round is the favorite round of yours. It's round 9 we're going into. It's 5-3. If they win this round and get it up to 5-4, it's game on. They lose it, it's 6-3. You may as well say goodbye to the finals, and it's Faze that go through.
4-3. 4-3. That was the first defensive round for Faze.
Was it? Thought it was the second.
But the point still stands. This is an important round at 4-3 versus 5-3.
That's important. Now you told me that news.
4-3 versus 5-3.
This is the prelude round.
Yes, exactly that.
Warm up.
It's setting it up. It's that foundation. The thing is, let me put it this way, Des, and I think everybody at home will be able to agree with me on this, and will have felt the same thing throughout this. It's felt like Damwon Kia have been on top throughout a majority of it. Even when Faze have won on bank, they are still at a position of, right, now we've got things level. They were still fighting from behind. This is the first point in the entire matchup across the best of threes, that Faze have been in front. Faze now find themselves in front overall when all maps are taken into consideration. And that, for me, is a big thing for Damwon Kia to deal with mentally now, because they know what they're up against. They know the quality that's sat on the other side of the room from them. We know the Latin American teams. I'm sure Faze aren't being quiet in there when these rounds are getting
Are they
lost.
naff? Yeah.
They're going to be getting very vocal about it, I would expect. And so how will Damwon Kia handle this pressure? And this is the thing. You know, you could look at it two ways. Damwon Kia, is there any pressure? They've got to the semi-final. Everything from here out surely is a bonus. But at the same time, that thought creeps into your mind that we could get there. It is possible for us to do it. What an achievement. And so you will feel it. And it's just about now how they handle it. We've not seen them under this intense a spotlight before. And it may take a little bit of time as a team for them to get to these positions, to learn how to deal with it. This is a team that has got an extremely bright future. I'm not saying they're not on the way home yet. They've got a lot of work to do, but it is winnable for them. But I do just feel like there's an advantage for Faze at the minute.
A criticism fairly levied against Damwon Kia. Fresh, a big one throughout the year, is saying how limited their map pool is as well. You know, they play 2 or 3 maps, and are they ready for best of 3 competition? Are they ready for best of 5 competition? And you're seeing it kind of stepping in slightly here, where look at the night and day difference between, say, Chalet and this map. Now, part of that could come down to Faze not being super confident on that map either. It wasn't their pick, and Damwon Kia aren't as comfortable. But as we've gone across the next 2, Bank and this one, you're starting to see the cracks kind of show a little bit in Damwon Kia. And I won't take it away from them. A couple of rounds have been ridiculously close to Faze. Arguably could have lost out on if not for some big plays out of Souls and Bullet. But that, as you said earlier on, sometimes you've got to be able to win dirty, and those are 2 rounds that they did win dirty.
But let's not just look at the negative on the side of Damwon Kia. Let's look at the positive as well. They've got a player in Yas who is just achieving the unbelievable at the minute. If there is anybody that can find a way to give them that boost, to give them that energy, to give them those kills that they need, it is going to be Yas. He's going to be the one that will force the crack and that will just allow the rest of the team to pile in behind him. I have every faith that Damwon Kia have it in their locker to be able able to win this game, Des, because they've been underdogs. They've been underdogs in APAC. They know what it's like, you know, coming through. Let's not forget, they got here through the playoffs. This wasn't an auto qualification for Damwon Kia. They had to go through the APAC playoffs, got themselves here again, which is the same as they had to do in Mexico. They are a team that knows all about fighting back from being down and from overcoming those odds. So Faze, they need to be very careful here to make sure that they now focus in and get this job done. They've got themselves the advantage. They're on defense of Oregon. They need to lock down this top floor.
Tech issues resolved. The game can resume. Back into Oregon we go with round 8. It is indeed 4-3, not 5-3, as I may have wrongly said earlier on. The site is going to be that top floor. It's where, of course, Faze are going to step to now. They've already won down in the basement. Where they choose to play is going to be anyone's guess. We've seen when Damwon Kia play up here, they roamed an awful lot. They got out on the map. They had security under control. They played a little bit around kitchen. They danced in and out of basement. I imagine for Faze you'll see some of the same, although their setup at the minute does look to be screaming quite heavily towards site-based play with the Mute, the Smoke, the Goyo, the Wamai. Malusi, Souls, arguably the only one who could be getting out on their own, but is not normally the player you'd affiliate with that style of play.
Attackers need to locate and defuse.
No, we'll see once the 45-second prep phase is up exactly how that setup is. The Goyo shield is in a pretty stock standard position there, just outside of the games room, just looking on towards Trophy to prevent that push. Interestingly, there's a Goyo shield gone down in Trophy as well. That's going to be worth keeping an eye on. If Damwon Kia try to push into Master Bedroom, it's there for exactly that purpose, to allow the challenge onto the door of Master Bedroom, which we haven't seen as much of recently. We've seen players in there. We saw it from Rin in the first half. Just in there as a token presence, few shots towards the door and then dip away. A lot of that presence given up to the attackers, but Faze, they're not going to do that.
Well, Team 1, I think it's a LATAM thing, because Team 1 also played inside of here with a shield. And it was Leon who was tasked with pushing into Master Bedroom and forcing, I believe it was KDS playing on the Goyo, out of Trophy. And what he would do is peek the doorway, chuck a nade in, force KDS away, destroy the shield in one breath, but also send KDS packing backwards because the ADSs were deployed elsewhere, and then pushed into Bedroom and took control quite quickly. So it's not like it's an impossible task to break through this hold, and it does feel like quite a LATAM thing to hold inside of Trophy.
2 nitros on the side of Faze as well. We've got Bullet just underneath on a little roam game. He's going to just disappear off into the map. So exactly the same way that Yas managed to keep himself off the radar, Bullet is going to try to do the same.
Oh!
And there is the shutdown. Woogie Man ready for Astro's aggression. Going to take him out, and a big entry for Damwon Kia.
You can't peek the peekers. It's like trying to look through a keyhole and someone's already staring back at you. Damwon Kia far too used to that style of play. I've told the story so many times. I still remember when Mag shared a clip on Twitter once of a scrim, I believe it was against Cyclops, clearly with permission. On Clubhouse, 4 players jump out of the window all at once. They're used to this style of play. They've been formed by it in APAC North, and they will be able to deal with that kind of play. You need to be so careful when going for a peek onto them. A good grenade coming in from Yas. Responds to the kill that came in onto Coated not too long ago. Of course, the problem with the kill on Coated is that's your hard breach gone. It's Explosive City, 3 so far in the round. Woogie also taken off the board.
I mentioned Bullet on the underneath, and I suggested that there could be a problem whereby Damwon Kia don't get a hold of his location, just like they benefited from Yas managing to slip away, and that's exactly what's happened. He manages to get himself a nitro kill, and he's just going to keep himself now at the top of Freezer Stairs. They're very concerned about the potential of the top of Laundry Stairs, but no, he's gone. He's not going to play in and around that area anymore. He's ready to move back up White Stairs if the opportunity presents itself. 3 versus 3, and just like the entire game, there's an absolute brawl here in round 8 as they just trade blows back and forth.
Absolutely, Rin's going to be pushing in from Attic's side. I thought he might go up to Kid's window, and I think you've got Bullet coming up behind him that he's got to be careful about, looking to go through the hatch. Not yet finding anything. 2 of the players looking to push in from Trophy. A little bit restricted. Soul sat all the way back behind the bunks. Could be the difference maker here, with Cameraman also looking to restrict Rin. But the plan's going in. They've got just off concrete. You're going to have to see Faze step forward and go aggressive on this one, but they can't find the man. That's plan completed, and suddenly it's a retake for Faze.
Well played by Damwon Kia there, and Faze maybe just taking their eye off the ball a little bit there, allowing the man to get in, but here comes the fight back. Cameraman gets Katsang, but it's a trade as he found bullet just before. 30 seconds left on the clock, but Faze, they need those 7 seconds to manage to disable the diffuser, so they need to get these kills quickly. Going to be damage taken to the man in attic. Now then, cameraman's going for the disable here, Des. I'm not sure if they're aware. Yas, he's not doing anything about it, but then the kills come in from Rin. Yas was there for the call and the cover, and that is going to be Damwon Kia with a successful attack, a successful plant, and they keep the hopes of APAC alive, bringing it back to 4-4. Dare anybody think about where this game is going to end as?
Dare we just. I love how at the end of that round, it wasn't such a characteristic misstep, but it's the first time I feel I've seen Yas kind of caught mid-decision. He was in a spot where he could hold the crossfire with Katsang, who was sat on top of the diffuser. He could have swung from the top of Astro's stairs to make it a comfortable crossfire, or at the very least a trade for Katsang's life. But he was already kind of halfway in transition of jumping outside of the armory window, or the top of armory stairs window, to get a drone sat inside of Trophy that could see the diffuser. His dead teammates could have then kept a close eye on it, and he could have been told when to vault in, and ultimately it paid off for them. The last two members of Faze far too distracted by Yas holding an armory because they saw that drone. It lets Rin push up for free and close the round out. A good round by Damwon Kia. For Faze, just giving them a little bit too much ground there, I think, Tim.
Yeah, I'd agree with you. You know, it was too possible for them to push into key locations without too much of a challenge. But heading into round number 9 then, it's going to be dining this time. And it just goes to show how close this one is, Des. During that technical pause, I said it felt just a little bit like the tide had turned and Faze were starting to get their advantage. They were on the defense. They had a good side to go to, and it just felt like they were starting to get that momentum that might carry them all the way to the 6th Sweden Major Grand Final. But then Damwon Kia comes straight back in, get an attacking round, level us up 4-4, and just remind us that this is anybody's.
Those mirror windows are interesting as well because one's dug a little bit further back inside a shower. Rather than actually being on the shower wall into small tower, it's pulled right back inside the corridor so they can sit and play behind it. One also looking into dining itself from kitchen side means it's quite a dug-in defense by Faze, and Damwon Kia will be given a lot of free ground. But once the execute starts to become a conversation, that's where things might get a little bit ropey.
It is. Katsang going to be on the drones, just looking for much information as Damwon Kia can gain. They've still got 9 left, so plenty to go at. We have questioned just how well the drones have been utilised in this matchup, but Faze not managing to find too many of them at this point in time. So Damwon Kia should be well informed here. Now then, stepping in, they're going to be stuck inside a mute jammer for the time being. Yash just looking to burn it out. Will be successful, which might now just allow a hard breach option should they choose to use it on that shower wall. Maybe just try and force Astro out of there. He's going to be holding on to a tight angle for the time being.
All about the problem solving here for deep Damwon Kia. Showers they need some deep control of, and they're slowly starting to whittle the drones down. They've got 7 left, of course, at this point, but they did just lose 2 in very quick succession, make it a 3rd, as one inside of dining is gone as well. They really want these players out of shower, but the problem is, again, Astro on this deep dug mirror window will make it impossible to get full shower's control without entirely clearing the shower corridor. You've got mute jammers there, you've got ADSs, you've got everything stacked up around this mirror to make it impossible to take back. Until Yas, of course, runs up to it. A nice, different story. C4 into shower finds no one, and Yas is probably a little bit deeper than what Faze Clan would have anticipated he could be.
Cyber absolutely takes the head off Rin there as he peeks up above the deployable shield, and this round starts with an absolute firework of an opening kill. As you say, Faze just being pushed back a little bit here, but they still have everything they need to hold on to this. Souls in an important position behind that mirror window. Yas goes in, but shut down by Astro. They've never managed to move him from his mirror window, Des, and I love his play, the way that he started in showers and then dipped back to that mirror window, just falling back at each opportunity, but still holding his ground enough to get the kill. Quarter trying to do the same thing. This time will be successful. The trade is there. The crossfire established. Katsang, he gets himself one onto Cyber, but it's all for him to do. Shut down by Souls, and that's going to be Faze taking another round. 5-4 we go to, Des.
Where it's felt like big clutch moments from players, that round to me is the epitome of strategy diff.
Yep.
The whole setup, the mirror, just completely baffled Damwon Kia. They had no way of any idea of how to deal with it. Their kind of go-to plan was, well, I guess we run in and just knife it, I guess, and see what happens next. they just didn't really have a way of doing it. They couldn't rotate their push around. They were quite stubborn in sticking to the small tower take. They rotated no one off to come and pushing from the east side there to push down Zulu, for example, and it just made life far too easy for Faze. Again, the first time I think in these 3 maps that we've seen so far where I've seen one of the two teams well and truly rattled by a setup itself rather than individual players. Really well done by Faze. And they are 1 round away from at least guaranteeing overtime, 2 from a spot in the grand final.
It just goes to show that you can just rip the script up for this one, Des. Just rip it up, throw it away, because Faze go to Domes, a site we might expect them to lock down. Pretty good defensive site. Somehow Damwon Kia find themselves a successful attack, get the win. We go down to a tertiary site, Faze come away with a brilliant setup and a win. It's just... There's absolutely no telling what's going to happen here. We've got a tactical pause coming in from Damwon Kia. They obviously feel that there's a little bit of work to be done within the team now, and it's now or never, Des. That's the reality. They 5-4, 2 rounds away from Faze winning this one, but only 3 rounds away from it themselves. This could be a really impactful moment in this semi-final.
They've seen 3 Faze defenses as well, so they know what sites they're likely to go to. They know the kind of setups they're going to be faced with. So in their mind, it's okay, now is a good time to have the conversation. Very rarely feels like you can take a tack pause too early. Leave it another round, you're potentially at 6-4. You've got to pull off the double by some miracle. Here, at least, there is a little bit of breathing room still to play with. Faze head down into the basement. That Kai being brought along. Now, we did see, back in the first half, if you remember, Damwon Kia bring the Kai themselves. They electrified off the meeting hatch, and Faze struggled. They ran the clock down, the Maverick ran out of gas, they had to bring the Ying over to use the hard breach gadget on the meeting hatch just to get it open and get the strat rolling, but by then, the clock had already ran a little bit too low. So I'm keen to see here how fast Damwon Kia deal with that, what hatches they go for, what the angle of the push is going to be. And most importantly, if they do find themselves stalled out, have the willingness to change where the attack is coming from. Because in that last round, they stayed stubborn to small tower and refused to move away.
I mean, is it willingness or is it having a plan B? You know, does it come back to that map pool again? Is that their option for this site, or will they bring us something different? I'm sure Damwon Kia can come up with something on the fly if needs be to try and mix things up. Katsang going in very aggressively there. First 15 seconds, he's bursting his way into small tower, looking to push towards shower corridor, and now then, could be a bit of information there on Cyber. I don't think he's aware of the drone plane in the drone hole. Not the end of the world. You'd sort of expect there to be a player on elbow, so it's not the, most essential information in the world. It's not going to be the end of the world for the Kaid of Cyber, but he just needs to be aware that they've got a good idea whether he's in that position or not.
Damwon Kia have done their homework, also known as drone work in this round. They'll know that all of Faze are pulled back down to site. There is no one playing around the map. The one thing that might, give a bit of shiver, some nerves over to the side of Damwon Kia is that there's jammers everywhere. Kitchen doorway, one at the top of Armory stairs. It leaves that constant question of what if there is someone up there, and what if they hit us later into the round? So they're still doing their due diligence here and making sure things are clear. Even though for Faze, this is basically going to be a waiting game here. They can just sit down, keep an eye on the clock, and wait until we get to about the 1 minute mark, and that is when action will be required of them, because again, Damwon Kia doing the due diligence and just making sure everywhere is clear.
Absolutely. We've got Cameraman just playing at the bottom of Freezer stairs as well. So there's going to be very little option for Damwon Kia to go down there. It is a bit of a Latam play. He's out there with the mute shotgun, and they just hold a really high line on the bottom of those stairs and just don't let you anywhere near the bottom. It's essential to get rid of the hatch if you want to move him out of there. So that's pretty much a no-go. So I would expect to see Damwon Kia focusing completely again on that rear stage side. So as you say, for Faze, it's just a waiting game here, waiting for that push to come in. But I do see that there is one out by Laundry Stairs. I think it's Rindez who's just playing down there by Laundry. So there could be a little bit of a multi-direction push coming in here.
And that's a very Latam style in itself.
It is.
They like pushing down through Laundry, Freezer,
and particularly an absolute nightmare at the bottom of Laundry Stairs.
Absolutely, down big tower too. Multi-sided push is never a bad thing. It does keep the enemies guessing, and Yas just walks straight in and frags out onto Cyber. A good first kill coming in. They've got some control on the north side. Rin checking out what's going on down on Highway. Now practices his way forward as well. There's 3 of them on this north side. One that can drop through the hatch, and Rin swings out and finds souls. They weren't aware that Rin had come down big tower. Traded back by Astro. It's not a bad outcome, and Highway, at least for now, remains no man's land. And now we're going to see what Damwon Kia are going to do. Woogieman, I believe, caught out at the bottom of Laundry there, finds himself in a position where for Damwon Kia, it's going to come down to the clock. looking to push forward now. They have this north side set up. Coated, opening something up from the right side, looks to push in. Does it know about Astro? They miss him entirely. Yas gets the call, but Astro pops off. A triple kill. Catwaxan can't find it. Astro has gone massive and moves Faze up to match and series points for a spot in the grand final.
Astro with a huge moment for his team there. Those 2 early kills came in for Damwon Kia. It was 3 versus 5, and the rest of Faze must be thanking their lucky stars that they've got Astro on side, because he's just given them now the match point opportunity. Not just 1 Des, but 2. 6-4. Damwon Kia, no more mistakes. 1 more loss, and that is it. You are going home from the Sweden Major. You'll be going home with heads held high. There is no 2 ways about that, Damwon Kia. No matter what happens here, you have impressed everybody, and I think captured the hearts of the Siege community. But now is the time to crush the hearts of Faze and to fight your way back into this.
There's a lot of fighting to do because the pressure arguably is off from Faze. They get at least overtime. Damwon Kia with a big hill to climb. They've been rebuffed on both of the last 2 attacks. Forced back, unable to break through the setup out of Faze. And that makes me very, very nervous. The only silver lining on this cloud is that we are stepping into the offsite. We're going into meeting and kitchen. This could be the one they take away, but we're going to have to see something very special on the follow-up defense, likely on the top floor, or on the attack, sorry, from Damwon into the top floor, in order to see this one go through to overtime.
It's now or never, Des. It is now or never. There is no clearer way of putting it. I think Damwon Kia, I think they can get this round, Des. I think they can get this round and take us to 12. Really push Faze to the wire. But Faze, they've just got that little bit of momentum, you feel, over those last couple of rounds. Rin's gone down! He may be able to be picked up if Faze Clan can't find him. He's crawling his way to the edge of that rooftop. Is he going to make it? The cover is in place to keep him safe, and I think he is going to have the opportunity to get back on his feet, which he will, but down to 20 health. That is far from an ideal start. Faze bringing that aggression that I spoke about, Des. It's in their roots, it's in their DNA, and when they need it most, they can deliver it.
If Rin had gone down there, that would be, again, one of those rounds looking back towards Bank that you chalk up and say, why does this happen? A little bit of early aggression, unmatched, unrealized by Damwon Kia. Faze, very, very fortunate if they've walked away with that entry. It really would have set the round up for success. As it stands, at least, Damwon Kia thrown a lifeboat here. They can say, okay, we're still in this one for now. Let's see what we can do stepping on forwards.
Sol's just going to be taking out the drone there, just deploying that smoke canister quite early in the round. The aggression from Cyber. Does he get his man? Absolutely. Rips the head off Woogieman. That's the Nomad gone. And this is going from bad to worse for Damwon Kia, Des. They've got Rin on low health. They've got the Nomad gone. Faze, however, Yas, he manages to get the kill onto Souls. Faze losing a man along the way now. 4 versus 4. And it is mounting for a tense finish.
I'm nervous about Astro. He's got a C4 playing below, and he could play spoiler here massively as Damwon Kia get themselves set up, but they've circumvented pushing inside of Kids here and looking towards Kitchen. They've just opened the hatch straight inside a meeting, and maybe that's going to be their game plan here. Several members of Faze rotating over. The Mozzie and the Mute both stepping up into the north side of meeting, and Astro looking to challenge. If he can find a kill, pushing up big stairs here, that could be the end for Damwon Kia.
It certainly could. You know that this is on a knife's edge right now, Des. You, everybody at home, we get the pleasure of watching how this plays out in the final minute here of round number 11. Katsang is looking to push himself into rear stage. Damwon Kia just still don't feel like they're confident in their map control, Des.
Oh, yes!
He's gonna get down. Bullet, what a win on that gunfight. Yash just missing his opportunity. And that's now 4 versus 3, 4 versus 2. It's all sliding in the direction of the Latin American team right now, Des. Faze, this could be your moment. You've had a quiet year, but no, Damwon Kia, there could be a punctuation mark from them as Corted starts to get the diffuser down.
These two are miles away as well. They won't be able to get in to stop this in time. Rin with a swing, that was such a risk. Coated going for the same, but he wins it. The support player, he's doing his best Souls cosplay. Gets to 3K, gets the plan down, but can he get the win? A 2 versus 1. Bullet bullet in his name has one bullet. He is one bullet from death. He's going to try and stick onto the defuse here. The hatch is one thing that can work against him. They've even got the soft breach above. Surely he can't hold this one out. Rin looking from above to try and do some damage. Bullet pushing his way up. Can he find Rin holding on above? Yes, he can. It's a 1 versus 1, but he's got about 5 seconds to play with. Coated can just wait here. Just wait for the time, buddy, and push him when it comes around. It should be about now. He can make it happen, and Coated has played it out. Won't find the 4th kill, or yes, he will. Make it a 4K for him in the round, or not. Bullet finds a 3K to match Coated, but Coated keeps Damwon Kia in the game.
We're going to 12. We will see every single regulation round as Damwon Kia, they fight their way back into this once again. If they can get themselves just one more round, then we are completely level. And this whole thing, this whole semi-final will come down to the best of 3 overtime rounds. Damwon Kia just digging that one out. They lost Yas. They had Rin on low health, Woogie Man gone, but somehow Coated and Katsang just step up when they need them. Coated is goated truly in that scenario.
Living up to the name that he was granted back in stage 1 of APAC North when they first appeared, Damwon Kia. A couple of recognisable names from the old days of APAC Siege, but Coated one that I think all of us saw and were like, whoa, what is this TCSG play? Back when he played it an awful lot, and now still doing the business every few rounds, really making a name for himself. Faze got to be feeling nervous, and this is really spicy, Tim. They don't go back to one of the primary sites. They rotate off and go back towards dining and kitchen. Now remember that we saw the mirror setup coming in before. There was no response from Damwon Kia. It's looking to be the same. Mirror windows are down, mute jammers, ADSs, everything being set up again. Faze have said, look, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Try the same thing again. It's on Damwon Kia to change things up here and come up with a new strategy.
Absolutely right. Damwon Kia really didn't have any answers to this setup, but Astro played it very well in his fallback from showers behind the mirror window, but it was a very 50-50 gunfight with Yas as to who won on that angle. If Yas wins that fight, maybe the round is completely different, so this one could be closer than you might think at first look. Nades potentially going to pour in. That's important. Manages to get the 2 ADSs. The mute jammer stays in place to protect the mirror. There's no throwable hard breach on the side of Damwon Kia anyway.
Rin's on the Flores as well, don't forget as well. So they do have other tools they can send in here to do some work. Right now, not quite the plan. In fact, that's a lie. The first Rotero does get brought out. Done a little bit of drone work to begin with. And here, opening up the soft wall. Does have a laser gate stationed on it, so that'll need to be burnt out. And there's also a laser gate playing on that shower corridor window facing out towards the south. And look at Woogie as well. Woogie's holding out down towards the south of the window, just in case there is anyone trying to push back here. They set 1 foot wrong, and they are dead. Woogie looking towards Cyber, who almost stepped into the cross, but just about avoided it.
Last time around, there was a deployable shield on that corner, if you remember, Des, where Cyber's playing. It allowed them to get the first kill, the opener. Not playing with that there this time. It's going to be a little bit of a risk for Cyber peeking into that corridor now. Boogeyman just looking to clear out the utility into showers. I think we will have seen Astro drop back, or if not, it will be very soon. He doesn't want to lose his life in here, realistically. He's got that mirror window to fall back behind if needs be. Drones coming.
Oh, he's gone!
And there's the kill from Yastes. Souls, however, manages to get the trade. 1 in each direction, 4 versus 4.
Souls needs to be really careful here. Katsang's trying to challenge him from the dining door as well. But again, these mirror windows are just so infuriating for Damwon Kia to deal with. They haven't found the answer, and they walk a second person into the same line of fire. Souls are 2 in the round with barely moving his feet. Rin bringing 1 back. No way did Damwon Kia fight their way back in, because it looks like it's slowly gone from bad to worse. But Coated just inside, going for the plan. Rin's found a 3K. Katsang another. It's overtime in map 3, and APAC will not die!
We are going all the way, and I think at this stage is what every single one of us wanted to see. The desk behind us are screaming, Des. Everybody is bringing down the house, and Damwon Kia, they just don't know when they're beaten. They're going to fight their way back in, and we've got 3 rounds to decide whether it will be a Latin American or an APAC team joining us in that grand final tomorrow.
You can't help but laugh, can you? You just can't help but
We
laugh.
played nearly 3 hours of Siege, and it comes down to this.
A best of 3 in maps comes down to a best of 3 in rounds. It's unbelievable. Now, what makes me slightly nervous for any APAC fans and for Damwon Kia is Damwon Kia start on the attack. That's the way this one has played out, and the scariest thing is, Tim, because it was 7-3 and 7-3 in map 1 and 2, it wasn't like either team got preference, it came down to a coin flip. Who got to pick the way this went? And Damwon Kia, clearly the ones who fell slightly short of it, were the ones who ended on attack. Faze got to pick to start on the defensive side. This is where it gets dicey. And Rin, for all his sins throughout this series, the criticism, you know, 2-8, 2-7 a couple of times, really not the performance we're used to, comes up massive when it's most needed. Coated the round before. We speak about Yas, but it is always worth stressing. There are always 4 other players around a hero player, and you've just seen 2 of them in them last 2 rounds.
Could not be more true. Now, Damwon Kia, I'm sure that has gone a long way to settling any nerves that existed inside of the camp. They're going to be attacking down onto Laundry and Basement. And I think it's worth reminding everybody at this point, Des, because in all the excitement, it would be very easy to forget. But you and I, we have a little job to do here, as so does Yas, getting that entry kill, going in aggressively. I was just going to remind everybody that each half had been 3 each, so there is no real advantage or disadvantage to the starting sides here.
And both teams, arguably on their attacking sides, got away with a couple of rounds that you look at and say they shouldn't be winning those, but they do somehow manage to do it. Yas finding that entry so soon in the round as well.
Cameraman in no man's land.
We spoke about this on Bank, we spoke about it on Chalet. Faze getting caught up in early entry engagements has stung them in so many rounds. Damwon Kia far fewer. They're off on the ones, coming out on top in these entry battles. But in the round where it matters most, it's Cameraman that falls first.
Faze going to fall back to site, all 4 of them down in the basement. Now you're going to be looking to rely on that utility. It gives Damwon Kia an absolute edge here, Des. They've got 2 minutes, it was, now down to 1:45 to just work away at this site. They can pummel them like a tenderizer on meat, Des, just absolutely grinding them and working them until they are softened up and ready to be assaulted.
What?
And
What?
Somehow, I don't know what I'm seeing, Coated picks up what is an unbelievable rarity, an exothermic charge kill onto Astro.
How? How
place,
does
wrong
it
time.
happen? How do you not even hear it? You know it does damage, like, avoid, dodge, do something, don't just stand there. Cyber, at least the first point of fight back in this round. Yes, Yas is down. Cyber's on a full-on run out, thank God. Oh, Coated was almost there to pick up the pieces, but just about missed out. Cyber has got away with not just murder, but it's a robbery there. 4 versus 3, last 50 seconds, Tim.
Time was a problem for Damwon Kia previously. Bullets at the bottom
Woogie.
here. I don't think
Bullet.
either of them know, do they? He goes,
Oh, Woogie!
And Woogie Man managing to hit the deck and hit his shots. Takes Bullet down. Advantage once again to Damwon Kia. It's going to leave us now in a 4 versus 2. All up to Souls and Cyber. Cyber gets the first. That's on to Rin. And once again, just keeping them in touch. They know the pressure's coming from Freezer. Souls!
Souls!
Big challenge. I said he had the clutch capability.
Oh!
And he goes huge for Faze when they need it most. 2 versus 1 now as it is swung on its head. Time is ticking down. It's all up to Katsang, Des. We're moving in. He gets
no way, no way.
He's fought his way back. Does he know?
No, Souls!
Souls with 3 kills for the clutch. Unbelievable from Faze.
What is this game? It's coming down to 1v1s even in overtime. It's from start to finish an absolute thriller. We could be going in to the very last round. Faze step onto the attack. Damwon Kia rotate onto the defense. And Meeting and Kitchen, I thought was where we were going, but they've changed their mind. We're going up into kids and dorms instead.
Rarely have I ever seen anything like this inside a Siege, Des. This is almost unprecedented. What a spectacle we are all witnessing here. That round was unbelievable back and forth. 4 versus 2 at a point, but Souls, as he has done so many times for this Faze side, I put him right up there with players like Breedy and Shepard in the support category. He is that good, and he just hits 3 essential kills to keep his team in it.
Oh, that last 1v1. Oh my word. Astro, in this round, steps across onto the operator we saw get brought for about half of Faze's rounds. It's going to be the Monty stepping in, that frontline controller. They changed between that and the Ying for much of the half. And here, their gamble, their bet in their only attacking round in overtime is going to be on the Monty.
You've got to roll the dice, Des. If you want to hit that double six, you got to do something. And Faze, right now, they are going to roll the dice, as you say, on that big shieldy boy. They're bringing the Monty along. And Astro, he did have some success with it last time around, able to bully the defenders of Damwon Kia.
He's a chunky boy, but he's a slow-moving boy is also the other issue, don't forget. I know it feels like a lifetime ago we were talking about Faze Clan's attacks on this map, but slowness, a lack of droning, not closing down on the roamers was so often what stopped them. And Yas is already down in the basement, charging around like a lunatic. We're so used to seeing it, and he's being given freedom. This is his domain. And really, I feel this is going to be so pivotal on whether or not Faze can find him in the early rounds.
The thing is, you feel like there's an opportunity there for Faze, Des. He's done it over and over again. Recognise it, cut him off, find that kill. Don't allow him to have that sort of impact on the round. For the time being, Faze getting themselves established inside of Armory. Cyber, he's going to apply one air jab on the main stairs. It does prevent Yas moving back up there later in the round, but it's not the only way for him to hurt them.
Oh, bullet. Do you know the laser gate's gone? I think that's the guy sat inside. Oh, the ADS comes up in one, and Rin is like, yeah, get me out, fam. I ain't hanging around here anymore. Second one does get eaten up immediately by another ADS. But that could have been scary. If they hadn't been deployed over two or 3 seconds earlier for Bullet, that could have been a big kill onto Rin.
Good progress.
Katsang's safe here as well.
Good progress from Faze so far. They've got themselves established. They're opening up the wall. They're going to make it difficult for Katsang to stay in place here. Does have impact nades, so can trick out any breaching attempt for the time being. In goes the first nade, going to be taken out by an ADS. The second one will come in, just needing to burn out the electrification.
Run.
Also, he needs to get himself out of there because you know that the utility is going to rain in from that point. Now then, that is the wall able to be breached. The Monty of Astro is coming back to do so.
Be electrified as well, so really good job at stalling Faze out so far. They've burnt through all of their utility, but haven't got what they need yet in terms of map control. And they keep alternating between the walk-in wardrobe, between trophy. It keeps on moving around.
Yes, just looking for that same peak that he used last time around, but Faze have adapted. They're not exposing themselves to it, so he's not going to be able to find the shots onto the Armory corridor for the time being. He does have the Maverick calls to work from, but Faze, they're not playing into the attic at this point. Cyber, he's got him, Des. That's Yas down. The breach is made. There is an opportunity for Faze to get inside a sight here.
But they've still got 2 smoke canisters to play behind as well. They can run this clock down. Astro is in on concrete. He's not the one with the diffuser. That perp, that responsibility comes down to Souls. Cyber's already been found by one. Rin finding it down. They've got the Monty as well. Souls will bring one back. Can he be the hero that Faze need? Steps in through the breach. Rin on white finds one. It's a double kill coming in, but Souls, it's going massive. Now goes for the plan. Can he make it? Another massive clutch. No, they can't. The time's run out. We're going all the way to 15.
It's going to come down to this one final round as Damwon Kia for another time just dig their heels in, Des, and refuse to be moved. Like a ship at anchor, they just will not budge. They stay no matter how stormy the seas and continue to fight.
We have had some games over the years, Tim. We've had some real games, some real fixtures.
I'm pretty sure they're taking years off my life.
You ain't got too many left if you're not careful.
All right, calm down. You're going in for me like Faze and Damwon Kia are going at each other. It's rubbing off. The adrenaline is too high at this point, Des.
It's too much.
Don't turn it on me.
No shots. It's unbelievable how close these rounds are coming down to. Souls at points must be feeling like there is no more that he can do. A 2K in the round, stepping through the breach. Looks to get the plant down, but as his allies fall around him, that realization settles in that this is going to come down to the wire. The very last round in this best of 3. Map 1 and map 2. Dominant wager for either side, a 7-3 victory. This one, you cannot separate either side. And I think fairly understandably, there is a timeout being called in by, I believe it's Faze Clan here for that final conversation. What can they do to hold Damwon Kia at bay? They're going up to kids and dorms. They are not going to sit once again inside a kitchen and meeting. They're not going to go towards kitchen and dining. They're going to go up to that top floor.
What are Faze doing to us, Des? As if the tension wasn't enough, they bring us in to a tactical pause. They make us wait for another minute. My legs are trembling stood here at the thought of getting into this final round. It's going to be up on dorms, Des. We only saw Faze defend it once. Damwon Kia won the round on attack.
And they brought along a Warden. Of all things, a Warden. So mainly for the shield here, but also some consideration given to the flashbangs that will inevitably come raining in from the side of Damwon Kia. They have 9 of them on side. So Souls could be the clutch master when all the craziness kicks off on site. He could be the one who can still see clearly and can end this and take Faze into the final. I can't believe, honestly, how close it's been. There is literally the same number of rounds throughout this whole fixture now being won by both sides. Again, 7-3, 7-3, and then 7-7 on this match. One round is all that separates the two. And no matter which way it goes, this will be a game that gets remembered for a long, long time.
Certainly will go down in the annals of Siege history. We have got 3 minutes to decide whether it will be Faze Clan from Latin America or Damwon Kia from the APAC region that will be heading as the first team into our grand final, where they will meet either NIP or Rogue, which is our second semi-final that will be played after this one. Now then, 30 seconds have gone. Damwon Kia getting themselves up to the line of the building to begin with. Drones raining in, and Katsang's going to get aggressive to begin with. Air jab deployed, and they are looking to get control over the armory and master side to begin with.
You've got Cyber the one lurking off on this downstairs as well. Seeing what damage he might be able to cause as the round progresses. Impacts in hand as well. Not really lethal, but at least able to open up a couple of rotates, open the floor. Could be a big late round disruptor, especially once we start thinking about Coated looking to hit that F key and get the diffuser down. To begin with, Faze playing it very, very carefully. All scattered here up towards that sort of northwest side of the sites. And all of Damwon Kia swarming their way inside of Wardrobe, inside of Trophy, and Coated might be able to get this wall open without any contest. You know, Bullet, with it not electrified, means it's a freebie for them.
At the minute, Damwon Kia completely focusing their attack on...
Oh, Astro! What's he doing?
He tries to step out, but he gets stepped on.
Oh, no!
There comes a kill from Souls. It's a bloodbath death. It's raining in either direction. He gets his man. Bullet knows that Katsang is led prone. 3 versus 3 with an absolute flurry of kills in the mid-round. Des, they're just both going for each other. They are absolutely raining blows. Souls gets Yas.
Oh, no way!
3-1 between Rin and Souls.
It's a 1 versus 1 Rin. It's all now. It's now or never. They see the angle. Souls holding it down. He's got to push it, but Souls finds it. He breaks APAC hearts, and Faze step into a grand final on the back of a man who has dragged them through countless rounds. My God, is it deserved, but my God, did it come down to the wire.
Souls has a clutch ability like no other, and he proves it there as he comes in with the biggest clutch of all for Faze Clan, taking them on their long journey through 2021. Not only bringing them to the major, but it's also taken them in to the grand final tomorrow here in Gävle, Sweden.
Unbelievable. Honestly, unbelievable that a game comes that close into a 1 versus 1 to close. Is something, my legs are shaking at this point, honestly. I can't stand up.
I say these things and I think people think that I'm just saying it. It's the genuine truth. Des and I were in absolute pieces here watching that, as I'm sure that you guys were at home. We have just witnessed a piece of Siege history there. Damwon Kia, I want to be the first to just extend congratulations for what you have achieved at this event. You have not only got wins and surpassed expectation, but you have entertained us all whilst doing it, so thank you so much for your contribution to this major.
I cannot wait to see Damwon Kia at SI 2022.
True.
That is going to be something special. What a game we have just bore witness to. I can't wait to see Faze in the grand final tomorrow. You and I need a glass of water. We need something stable to stop our legs collapsing from underneath us. Let's get over to the desk and get their thoughts on what has been an incredible fixture.